Welcome back to Scinary Information Nexus, your podcast of sin.
Today is Friday, December 5th, 2025, in the great city of Waco, Texas. How's everyone doing?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Good.
Cold.
Pretty good.
It is cold.
Very cold.
Today, joined by Pierre Vivoni, Hunter Isham, and as always, Brazos Wortham, who's got his pink shirt covered up.
Yeah, well, and that's why I had to
Pop the
pop
collar.
the collar.
For viewers of the channel and of the podcast, you will note that his Friday shirt is the pink shirt.
Yeah. No,
So-
at this, it started out as a coincidence at first, and then somebody pointed it out, and now I do it every time.
I like it. Do you, brother. That's all I can say about that.
Hey, I stand out on this podcast. I don't know about anybody else.
So that's a good segue because we need to talk about why there's not been any podcast in the last couple of weeks. So we did record a podcast, and it was a 2-hour podcast with a good friend of ours, and it was a very kind of sensitive topic, especially at the time. We sat here and we talked for 2 hours about that, and it's a sensitive topic. So after reviewing the podcast, I decided that we were going to shelve those two podcasts. It was going to be a part 1 and a part 2. We're going to shelve those until a later date, until it's not as sensitive. And it's nothing terribly bad. It's just, we're talking about people's livelihoods and things like that. So we wanted to kind of shelve that and put that to the side for right now. Probably sometime mid-year next year, we'll release both of those as kind of, the archive podcast episodes. But until then, we have this episode, which will be our last one for 2025. Mainly our production staff is gone. Donald said that he's going to go to sleep and not wake up till February. So we've got, this, and we've got things we need to do, right? It is the holidays, and it's when we need to spend time with family. And so I'm absolutely looking forward to that. And I will miss this for the next 3 weeks, but come January, we will be absolutely back. So I thought what we would do today, no heavy-handed topics about cyber, nothing too earth-shattering, but I do want to talk about kind of the year in review. And what I thought we'd start out with as the year in review is some of our favorite podcast moments, because I've got a few.
Mm-hmm.
And I will lead this off probably with everyone's favorite podcast clip. That's me drinking the damn jalapeno mead. Did you see that, Pierre?
I did not see that.
How'd you not see that?
Well, I haven't been paying attention. Is it a short? Is there a short version?
There's a short.
There
it's
is.
like 20 seconds of me choking.
Okay, I'll watch it after. I'm sorry.
Richard, for the handbook review for 2026, we need to make it a mandatory to if you're a Scinary employee, you have to watch the podcast.
How are we going to do? Are we going to test on that? What would that test even look like?
You get a test every week.
So it's we have to put together like a number, like a multiple choice question, like test. And then every 2-3 weeks we have to give it to them. And we've got to randomize it too. Like we can't give the test on the same day every day, because then they would just go and watch the podcasts like the day before.
I thought you were going to start talking about like your favorite topics, and
Well, that was a good topic.
Yeah.
that was a podcast topic. Was the
Well,
jalapeno drink.
I mean, when you go through 4 bottles of mead in 1 hour.
Yeah,
Fair
it was off the chain, quite literally. But you guys can go back and watch the clip or the short. But what they did is they took the label off one of the bottles of mead, and it was jalapeno mead. And we had started out drinking wild honey mead or something along those lines.
more palatable things.
And so I kept passing Joe my horn or whatever, Stein. Fill me up. If we're going Viking, let's do it Viking style. And so I didn't even notice that he grabbed the one without a label and filled the Stein up.
Jeez.
And Mario is talking, and I take a sip of that, and I know we're on camera, so I'm trying to be cool about it. And that jalapeno hits the back of my throat, and I almost died. It was terrible.
Yeah, there's no time like coughing when you can't cough, huh?
It was.
Oh wait, that was the wrong one.
Yeah, I think
That's the wrong one. That's another clip that's really funny.
Did you do a spit take?
Yeah.
You
No,
should have done a spit take.
no. I mean, I held it in. In fact, I think Mario commented like, "I can't believe we thought you were going to hold it in." It was like, "There's no way, absolutely no way," because I was expecting honey and I got jalapeno.
Yeah, the prank wasn't funny anymore, right?
Yeah, yeah. That is. Yeah.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah.
So see, Pierre, if you watch, it's entertainment.
It is entertaining.
Yes.
I'll give it that.
Absolutely. There's another one of my favorites, and we just did this one on Halloween. It was before Halloween, where it involves Hunter, and the short is fantastic because the short is, we're brought to you by Wayne Industries.
The Wayne's Pig Farm.
Wayne's East Texas Hog Farming, and I think I said something to the effect of, "Well, that's like an industry."
Yeah.
And Hunter goes, "Yeah."
You're not wrong.
So for me, in terms of podcasts, my favorite episode that we did this year is probably a tie between, honestly, the interview with Eol. I really liked that episode.
Yeah.
I thought it was a lot of fun getting to talk with him and kind of learning about like how he developed Iron Scales and where he thinks AI is being utilized. And then also the venture capitalist episode, which was a very, very early episode, but I thought that one was that our like first video
I think that
podcast?
was our first video podcast.
Yeah. That one was really, really fun. One, I got to talk about a topic that I enjoy that wasn't directly related to cybersecurity, but I think resonated with a lot of people.
Yeah, and I think what we're going to do is we're going to bring that up again. The episodes that are on the shelf right now, the two episodes that we did a couple of weeks ago, talk directly at that, and so I think we're going to resurrect that topic again because I think it's important. I really do. We tried to do the best that we could, but we didn't truly understand all that, everything that was going on. I think there's a lot more digging that we can do to figure out how private equity and venture capital play in technology companies. So I think we will resurrect that probably in the first quarter. It'll be another good episode. Maybe we can get some of our Clippy friends to tune in to that as well.
And then in terms of shorts, the Wayne, Texas, or Wayne Industries, or
Wayne's East Texas Hog Farming.
Yeah, whatever the heck that was. That clip was really funny. I also liked the Dark Wizard clip from, again, when we had the Mead episode. I thought that was really enjoyable. But yeah, I think the one that takes the cake for me on clips is the Wayne Industries one. That one, I think I showed that to like 20 people just thinking it was, and every time I'd watch it, I'd laugh.
So there's another one with our friend Greg Babbitt, where Joe is sitting here and we're talking about just kicking devices off the network. And I think Joe goes into this kind of diatribe about, are you the guy that, if you see something and you don't recognize it, and Greg just chimes in, "Yep, that's me." Yeah, that's me. I just kick it. Kick it off the
see who screams.
Yeah. And he also sent us the whiskey. And Greg, I'm sorry, I had a call with you earlier this week and I thought we had drank that entire bottle of Wild Turkey, but we did not. It certainly felt like I did.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago, but we did not, and we've still got a lot left. So please don't send any. Well,
practice makes perfect.
I mean,
it'll stay on the shelf for a little bit.
We're not going to turn it down. Yeah. We're a poor little cybersecurity company.
We'll find a use out of another bottle somewhere
in Texas. So the podcasts have been fun. They've been really sporadic as far as topics, and especially when we get off topic.
So
they can go off the rails.
10 minutes.
Yeah. But it's funny to see all of us so I watch every episode mainly to make sure we can post it.
Yeah.
I watch every episode, and we start off with great topics, and then it just goes off the rails. We started talking about Renfest one time,
Yep.
you know, and it's just, you know, we're going to have to do a better job at that. But I do like the format that we have here with these podcasts. I really do. And I like bringing in Pierre and Hunter and everyone else. I think we're going to do more guests next year. As a matter of fact, I owe Jason Phillips an apology. He was supposed to be here today, and he messaged me on Monday. He's like, "We're still doing it?" I was like, "Nope, we just do not have the time with everything that was going on this week. I didn't think we were even going to have time to do this." So, Jason, I'm sorry. We will absolutely get you back after the first of the year.
What were we going to cover with Jason this week?
Whatever Jason wanted to talk about.
Okay.
Like, I didn't even research any topics with him.
Exactly what we're doing.
Yeah.
But I do know one thing I want to raise with him when we get him back, and that's nerdcore. No, I'm serious. I think that is a great topic.
How?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's a whole underground, like, music movement thing that's been going on for the past 15 years.
So are we talking about the lore of it, or are you guys going to compare songs?
So maybe both.
The history.
I think if something has stayed underground for more than 15 years, it probably
Might need to stay underground.
Yeah.
The truth hurts.
You consider like Weird Al nerdcore. He's got a
No,
couple.
well,
like,
so he's got
songs.
that. He's got that.
All about the Pentiums. I like that one. That's
Well, he's got that one, and he's got it's the cover of the Charlemagne. They see me rolling.
Oh yeah.
Hating white and nerdy.
Yeah, white and nerdy. Yep.
Yeah, he has that one.
Shout out Weird Al.
So I guess that's like every time I hear nerdcore come on, like okay, this is super unpopular opinion. I don't like Weird Al. Like I don't like Weird Al. It's not like okay, it's not that the music's funny, but it's a meme, and I just don't. I can't get into it. I don't really enjoy that much, and that's how I feel about nerdcore. It's like it's a meme. Like
well, some of it is, but it's to me. So before it was nerdcore, it was geekster rap, right?
Well, I don't know about that.
I don't know about that
We're kind of young, Richard.
Yeah, yeah.
15 years ago, I was like in high school.
I mean, I didn't even know they had a name for like grunts and stuff, like for cave, like what?
So when you listen to the words of nerdcore, like especially the hacking nerdcore, there's nerdcore like on the gaming side. Yeah. There's no nerdcore on the hacking side. There's nerdcore about everything, right? Everything under the sun. But specifically when you're talking about like cyber and hacking and stuff like that, you listen to these guys and I understand what they're talking about, which is fantastic. You
can relate.
It's better than 90% of the music out there, as far as I'm concerned.
All right, yeah. That's an opinion.
Yeah, yep.
And
I don't even know if it's
a show.
I don't know if it's a good opinion.
All right, next topic. We're getting too divisive.
Well, I think the other thing too is if we continue talking about it, he's going to run out of everything for the next episode.
Hey, shout out YT Cracker. That's all I'm going to say.
There we go. We got the shout outs.
Yeah.
So, continuing on, are there any other clips or podcast shorts or podcast moments that we want to talk about?
So this one was relatively recently, but it was a complete divergence of our regular formula, the vlog to Illinois.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That was good. It was and again, we did a whole like debrief on that as a podcast.
Oh. So continue. I'll get into this in just a second.
So we were doing really good. Like we had the selfie stick, and I mean we looked like complete nerds in the airport.
Influencers.
Yeah. doing all that.
The official LinkedIn title, influencer.
And I'm going to tell you, like I'm 54 years old. I was very uncomfortable with this damn selfie stick. And what do you think, Brazos? And it was just. And then you get to the venue, and I've watched enough of these guys that I kind of understand how to go about that. So you walk around the venue and you're talking while you're walking around. So I'm doing that, and I swear everybody in there is like, what is this old man doing?
I was about to say, how many people were staring the whole
Who
time?
are you?
Yeah, it was really kind of weird for me. I'm sure it was weird for them too. But I did get past that, and we did get some good recording up until the last day where we didn't think we were going to come home, or we were going to be very late coming home because we were ready to rent a car. Like, I'm not staying. I love Springfield. It was great. It was a great town, but I'm not staying there.
Yeah.
How long is that drive?
It's 13 hours.
Yeah. It's about 13. You know what's funny though is like you just I-35 goes up there. So
It goes all the way.
Yeah, you just hop on I-35
Yeah,
and
you
head
just
home.
hit I-35 and roll it on down, listening to your nerdcore.
If I had to listen for Nerdcore for 13 hours,
Jump out of the car.
We wouldn't have Brazos anymore.
I would
just
I
drop
would,
me off, Rich.
I would still be in St. Louis.
Yeah.
So you were going to say?
Yeah. So the amazing start to that trip, rolling into Richard's driveway at 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Had hit a deer. So I get back from Illinois, right? And I'm now driving my personal car because the work car is in the shop. Pierre is like, "Hey, you want to go to the gym in the morning?" I'm like, "Oh yeah," and it's Saturday, or no, was it Saturday? Yeah, it was Saturday.
It was Saturday morning.
Yeah, Saturday morning. Pierre reaches out and he's like, "You want to go to the gym in the morning?" I was like, "Yeah, let's do it. I'll come open it up." Get in the car, pull out of the driveway. Literally a quarter mile out of my driveway, my personal car smack into a deer going 60 miles an hour.
But it tasted so good.
No.
No, it didn't taste good. Or
No.
Not tenderized enough.
yeah.
And so, my personal car is now in the shop.
So that's we live in the same little community north of Waco, and that's something that, especially this time of year, you got to look out for is deer on that farm market road. And they've just gotten really bad over the last 10 years.
I mean,
Really?
the thing is that it's not the most efficient way to go about hunting deer. Like, I'm just saying.
There are better ways.
Ron Watt had a bit about that where he was talking about his friend would go deer hunting and have the latest and greatest and like camouflage and deer blood soaked boots and blending in with the woods and having this 300 blackout rifle with a bullet that's traveling 2,500 feet per second. And Ron Watt said, "That's funny. I killed one in my van doing 70 with the lights on and the horn a blowing." These are elusive little creatures.
Oh, yeah.
You'll never find them.
So, Brazos, I hate that. Wrecking two cars.
In the span of like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So it was very fun.
So I think that's it. I mean, we've had some good times on the podcast. I know that I've enjoyed them greatly because it allows us to kind of get out the week that has been. So every week we gather here, we kind of complain about what's going on in the world, and then mentally it helps me a little bit. But we've also made some progress this year as a company. And so I do want to talk about that from a perspective of, where we started the year from a technology standpoint, how we grew, not the business, but the technology that we're now available to deploy. So when we started the year, Donald had created Scinary Connect, which was our big XDR integration piece, which was what we had been waiting on. And if I remember this correctly, y'all said it was ready to go January 1, 2025. So we started selling it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Something like that.
And then
little did Hunter know this was the reason we were bringing him on the podcast.
I was gonna say this team thing is getting real tough.
The long and short of it is we get to April and the security operations folks are melting down quite literally because they've got all this stuff popping up in their console and they don't know what it is. So it went from R&D to sales in everybody forgot to tell operations what was going on.
Yep.
So we had to pull that back for a couple of months, but we finally did get it out there June, July of this year, and it has really been a game changer for us.
Official launch date was September 1st. However, it was ready to go for production use in like June 30th, July 1.
Yeah.
So we started utilizing it on some of the outside of Texas folks around the summer months. So.
Well, and it's been so popular with our clients that, it was it was a beta test within a beta test. We didn't know if that's what the clients wanted. We kind of assumed that that they wanted the cloud integrations piece with it, but we really didn't know. We had sporadic requests here and there.
Well, I mean, whenever you're looking from a security perspective, the idea of extending our visibility from what has traditionally been a network-only tool to then being able to pull in data from Google and Office 365, Windows Defender for Endpoint, Threat Down EDR into a singular platform. We knew from a security perspective that that's going to be important. Right. Being able to correlate all that data from a centralized platform, great. However, there's always, and I think a lot of our clients, just because they're already the ones adopting security tools, right? They're security conscious. They understand some of the vulnerabilities and things that they need to watch. So, but there are people out there that may not necessarily see the value in having that telemetry into a singular platform.
Well, and I think we didn't know that. So when you add something like that to our platform, there's an inherent cost associated with it. And so we were going to have to charge money for it.
Yeah.
And we are great cybersecurity folks. We are terrible at the business side of it because we didn't know what the market would bear on that. So we just kind of came up with this structured pricing that we thought would work, and it did work. And then that became convoluted to a certain extent. So we had to change it again. And it went through the pricing went through all these iterations, and the product never changed. Mm-hmm. And every iteration, the pricing got a little better for everyone. And I think, for me at least, the beta test within the beta test was, okay, let's get a new product out there, make sure that it works and it's performing. And once we got that feedback, hey, I love this thing. Okay, then that's great. What do we charge for it? Once we get that piece solved, okay, we've got a viable platform here that the more integrations that we bring into Centurion and truly make it an XDR platform, the better it is for our clients, because they do want that. Even though directly they're not telling us exactly what they want, because maybe they don't know exactly what they want. They rely on us for that. But I think once we got that piece solved, then that opened the door to a lot of different things. And do you want to talk about the Fortinet integration?
Oh,
that came online last month.
Yeah, well, no.
What do you mean no?
It's still it's still pre-release. Is not went to general release, but the from
somebody lied to me.
No.
It was just headcanon.
Yeah, it was headcanon.
Yeah, I don't know where this it released last month kind of
we're
thing
working on
from.
it. Yup, it's out.
Yeah. And so we see why last year happened, or the beginning of this year. So I mean, evidenced by this.
So I do want to defend myself a little bit, because my business partner, our CTO, the great Donald LaForce, will come into my office and say, it's done.
His part's done. There is so much more to this process.
Yeah.
So but you see my conundrum.
So
when the CTO says it's done, I'm like, great, Brazos, we need a pricing model. I need to get some marketing out. We need to roll.
I will say he puts that on Donald. But if you remember the meeting that we had, the beginning of this week, where we're talking about a new internal project. Richard gets involved. We're all sitting down in the office, and then we're like, okay, we're going to have once a week meetings. we're going to have this kind of cadence. This is kind of the timeline. And Richard's like, all right, I'm good. I'm not here anymore, and just walks out. He does the same thing that Donald does.
Well,
just it's
God.
Don't look at me. Huh?
yeah.
No, it's pretty
like
accurate.
my job here is done. We're good.
The project is out.
And I think the funniest thing is Donald even said we weren't going to do any more projects this year. He said we're going to start January 1st. And then here we go with a few ideas and a few screenshots, and all of a sudden we're in the middle of another project.
Yeah.
Well, that's how we grow.
He meant no
Right?
more Donald projects.
No more projects after this one this year.
Yeah.
So, but on the Fortigate side, when we were looking at Scinary Connect and the idea of Centurion becoming more of an XDR platform, it was limited originally to Google and Microsoft. But we knew, like, really and truly, Scinary Connect is the technology that allows us to implement or integrate with other third-party sources. So for data and telemetry. So that was the goal all along, was what are high priority areas that we can pull in telemetry from that we see and like from a threat actors, like techniques, tactics, and procedures, and so that we can counter those. So as we've mentioned time and time again, the initial access vector most of the time for these attacks, it's the firewall. It's either the VPN or somebody logs in through the WAN management port or something of that nature. So obviously the next logical step for Scinary Connect was to start pulling in firewall data and being able to correlate that with things like Google, Microsoft, the endpoint logs, server logs, our network telemetry. So Fortigate was the first one that we chose because when looking at our client base, most people were using Fortigate. So when did we start that? It was like in September.
Feels like forever.
I was going to say, it feels like a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
I'm sure we were talking about it way before then. We usually talk about things for a while before they come into play.
Oh, Pierre was grabbing Fortinet logs into Graylog back in 2022. I don't know why
in the day.
We're not supposed to talk about the...
I don't know why
in trouble again.
it's
Donald,
taking
cut
so
this.
long.
Cut this, Donald.
Please, Donald, please, we're sorry.
But yeah, and so now we have we've got it where it's functioning, and it's going to be releasing July 1. In fact, by the time that
July 1
or January 1,
I was going to say this. Richard, stay sitting.
January 1. Now, by the time that this goes live, most likely there's already going to be a blog post that goes out or some sort of marketing regarding this. But
we hope
it's already created.
Okay.
The idea is January 1, we're going to be launching this where if you already own Connect, so if you're already subscribed to the Microsoft 365 and Google piece, and you have a FortiGate firewall, we're going to be able to ingest your telemetry from that. So UTM logs, administrative changes, VPN connections, all of that stuff's going to come in. Our SOC team's already built out alerting, so our platform will actually send automated alerts to you and them so that we can respond to it. And then not only have we done that, but we've also created a manage block list application that our SOC team can take, because we have all of this industry data that we see across over 280 some odd K through 12 institutions across the nation, and we see like scanning IPs or threat actor IPs hitting different clients, and you'll see them hit somebody in New York and then jump down to Georgia and jump over to Texas. And so we didn't really have a way to respond to this. We just had to tell everybody block these IPs or add them in something, et cetera. So we wanted a way to proactively handle that without needing to involve the client. So we made a managed block list where that will seamlessly integrate with a FortiGate rule, and that rule will actually pull down from a list, a managed list from our SOC team.
I think that's another thing that, and we don't need to gloss over this, but Fortinet management, firewall management, is now in our stack as well. Is that right?
Yeah. So, and it just, I mean, it's all
You're
about,
you're the firewall
Pierre,
guy.
You should have been speaking up.
I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know how
He's
we're
just a peon.
selling all
He's just
that.
doing the work.
I just do the work.
Yeah. That's what you have me for. But yes, so in combination with the stuff that we're pulling in to Centurion, right, which is independent from the FortiGate management, but because you can get Connect without the Fortigate management. So if you want just us to pull in logs so that we have the ability to alert on the data within the platform, you can integrate that into Centurion with Connect. But as firewalls are complex security tools. I mean, while they handle some of the networking within the environment, they are security tools kind of first, right? And they can be extremely time consuming and complex to manage. We've seen this with a lot of organizations where they're not necessarily security folks, and it's kind of reflected in the configuration of the firewall. And unfortunately, that has led to some organizations getting compromised in some way. So we wanted to it again, logically makes sense. It is the evolution of what we do, is to pull that security tool under our purview and the ability to manage. So we're in 2026, we're going to be able to not only integrate with the firewall from a Centurion perspective, but if you want us to manage the whole platform for you,
and that's where the block ass. Block ass?
Yeah. Yes, the block ass.
Richard.
That's going to be a short. The block list app will come in handy, right? Because at that point, we are no longer feeding the client, hey, go and block these domains, go and block these IPs. We put it in our app, and it integrates with our CDN, which, if you have our management, will pull from our CDN directly into your firewall. Do I have that right?
So kind of like the functioning of the app, yes. But the block list or block ass app, it is a part of Scinary Connect. So if you just want to get Scinary Connect, you're going to get that functionality.
I see.
Management is like, you're going to get, if you get management, you're getting all the other stuff. You don't have to pay for it. But
because I
you're
think,
paying for the management.
I think we were kicking around the idea of even just that CD, just opening up that CDN for anybody to pull from if we wanted to. And I don't know where Mr. LaForce is on that decision. Do you?
I believe Brazos wanted people to pay for the...
Oh, so I'm the bad guy here. I'm the bad guy.
We just lost all our Clippy dudes.
I know.
Not quick.
Well, earlier this week I was told that was last week, I think. I was told I didn't have a conscience. I do have a conscience.
You do have a conscience.
There's just money involved with the conscience.
Yes.
Hey, somebody has to keep the lights on here.
Money talks.
Yeah.
So with that, with all of those things that came in, we also changed the way we do, because if you buy our K-12 or local government package, you get what we used to call an internal assessment. But we found that even if we found stuff that was like really glaring and we shipped it to the client, they didn't have time to mess with it. So we would circle back around a year later, the same issues would be there. So what we decided to do, instead of calling it an internal assessment, an internal health check, where Pierre would go in and do a firewall review. Because again, leading from the threat landscape and all the attacks that we've seen, most of them come through the firewall. Most of them had configuration issues that led to that. So our feeling was if we can get out ahead of that, then we would. And Pierre took on the mantle of our Fortinet expert and started calling clients. Fortinet expert, but you deal with all the firewalls, right? I mean, you're involved with SonicWall and Palos and
everything other than Fortigate. A little bit less of an expert, but
yeah,
the concepts are there.
Yeah. Well, I get you. You know, if there's a misconfiguration, like any is bad.
Yeah.
Right. So that. So we
or a default accept rule.
Yes.
We can move on.
Yeah. SSL pointed to the entire LDAP direct, right? So yeah. So and it's important to understand that we do look at it from a risk-based perspective instead of a like operations-based perspective, because in operations you're concerned about availability. Us, we're worried about confidentiality.
So we, as security guys, we do have to concern ourselves with availability. I mean, because from that, it's like, okay, well, if we really wanted to be secure, just unplug the internet, right?
No.
Or turn the VPN entirely off. That's generally not a solution. So we have to. So what we try to do is, if a client comes to us and says, hey, I have this VPN. I have to have it for my HVAC vendors to be able to log in because it's the only way that we can efficiently do that. Well, currently, they may have it pointed to where the HVAC users have to log in and then they have access to the entire network, when in reality, all they need is access to a singular low priority server. So a lot of times we're suggesting to them not kick your HVAC people out, or it's more changing that to restrict their access, where in reality, they didn't need all that availability before. They're from the HVAC perspective, and again, I'm just using them as an example. You can apply this to the finance person who RDPs in or whatever in the afternoon to do some work or any of that. But from their perspective, their use case doesn't even change. Like their availability doesn't even change because they were already just logging in, typing in the IP of the HVAC server, and then hitting that. It's when the attacker abused their accounts, that's when that became a problem.
Yeah, and I want to be clear. I wasn't saying that, we're going to like just shut it down and that's the way you become secure. No, we take those things into consideration. But by and large, we see misconfigurations across the board in firewall rules, right? That at least that's what I think we see. And so just giving them a second eyes on from a security perspective about maybe look at it from a different way instead of just allowing your HVAC people to come in all hours of the night. Maybe let's put a rule in that says they can only come in from these couple of IPs, something like that. That's what I mean by, security, looking at it through a security lens.
Well, and I think one of the big issues that, and I know we've ran into this a number of times, where it's because funnily enough, a lot of the school districts that manage their own firewall are largely okay. Like it's not super complex.
Oof.
Like, so
it's true.
No, I know.
It's as complex as you want it to be.
So
you want a bunch of VLANs, do it.
So the thing is and complexity is often the enemy of security. So what happens is that if a school district gets a firewall and all they have is like kind of some really basic rules to allow some servers maybe to communicate to something, and then really nothing beyond that, maybe one person logs into the firewall. In reality, like there's improvements that can be made there. We often find them, but largely they're fine. It's when third party, like specifically ISPs, get involved in the management of the firewall.
Agreed.
It's terrible. Like I don't even know how to explain it. The rule bloat is probably the worst part of it, because they will, instead of going and making consolidated rules that grasp everything, for every minor request, it's another rule. Yeah. And the problem with that is you get stacks upon stacks and stacks. You're bound to make a mistake. When you have 250 rules in a district the size of like maybe 200 students, that's insane. Like you should not have that.
Yeah, and so to bring this back to the year in review, one of the reasons why we started reviewing those was, again, to give them another perspective, right? Let us take a look at it. It may be fine, right? Mm-hmm. If it's fine, we'll give you a report that says it's fine. If it's not, and we have recommendations, we'll give you a report that has those fine. Recommendations.
Reasonably secure.
Yeah. Reasonably secure. Exactly. And if you want us to fix it, Pierre will sit on the phone with you and a screen share, and we will go through that and we will fix it with you.
Happily.
Happily do that. By and large, that's been very successful. How many have you done? Have you done over 100 this year?
I don't think we're at 100 yet. Maybe
I think it was like 74, 75 last time we checked.
80, 90.
Get to work.
Around now.
Yeah.
And when'd you start?
What do I get?
You get to keep your job.
When'd you start them, Pierre?
I think it was May. May was the first one.
Yeah.
That's pretty good in half a year.
Yep, exactly. Full year, we got all our clients almost.
Yeah, so it's been very successful, and I'm very proud of that program, because again, we're shifting the control structure from detective to preventive.
One of my favorite things about when we do those, and I happen to sit on or run one, and I'm going through the rules or specifically the users, and there's been so many times you go to like the local admins of the firewall and there's like 20 users in here. And I just go through the list. I'm like, you know who this is? Nope. All right, delete.
Yeah.
I'm removing that.
Remember, we've been on an incident or two where we've done that same exact thing. Do you know who this Roto user is?
I
This
remember
Root
that.
2 user?
Yeah.
All right, we got to delete these guys if you don't know who they are.
Oh yeah, it's well, and then and again, I know we're talking about just the configuration. We could do a whole episode on that,
Yeah.
but so
Well, you're going to have a webinar. No, you've already had a webinar on misconfigurations.
well, no, that's December 17th. So
Okay.
in fact, that will be after this podcast goes live. So if anybody that's listening is interested, on December 17th at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, we will be doing our default to hacked common misconfigurations webinar, which is going to be over a lot of the common misconfigurations and default settings that we've seen, both from a firewall perspective and from just Active Directory, Google, in these events that we've worked, or just generally that could potentially lead to compromise.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And not only, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say good plug. Link in the description.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
There will be a link in the. Will there be a link? Do we
I don't
have a
know.
link?
Is there a link?
There is a link. Yeah.
Well then,
Okay.
yeah. There
But
you go.
Somebody put a link in this description, please.
Yeah.
Any link.
But yeah, I think it's going to be really fun. I'm hoping it's as good as the Breaking the Chain webinar.
So I mean, they're very informative for sure. So if you tune in, I'm sure even if you know everything about firewalls, maybe there's a nugget in there
Yeah.
that
Well, it's going to be firewalls. We're going to cover some Google and Active Directory services. So it's going to be more than just firewalls. So I think there'll be a little bit of something for everybody, hopefully.
we are also this year. We've expanded our employee base. I think we grew by 4 or 5 FTEs. If I had to guess on that, so that's a good thing. That means that we're growing. One of the things that I think we're most proud of is the suite that we're currently talking in. Was we took this over?
So this is an edition of this year.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. This is this in the podcast.
Well, that's the podcast, the room.
Yeah.
We technically did what two episodes, Hunter? Like you and Joe and
It wasn't me. I wasn't a part of any of those.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
helped
you
get it.
were.
Was
You,
I?
yeah, back when we had it.
That was
in
like the first
the
two.
original
Past
one.
that, they
Yeah,
only did like
y'all
the
did like
NSA
the
one.
Vault 7 or whatever.
Yeah, the whole NSA
Yeah.
records, the leak and whatnot.
Yeah, they're out there on those. That's when Donald had his manic attack and decided to put up foam on the walls and
Yeah.
everything.
But-
But yeah, it's been a very good year for us. We have been very, very fortunate this year. We've the technology's come a long way. Our processes have come a long way. The way we help protect our clients has come a long way, and 2026 will be no different. Speaking of 2026, and just briefly, because we're going to be running short on time on this short podcast that's already ran 45 minutes. One of the things I know we're going to be looking at more firewall integrations. Specifically, we're testing SonicWall now. And hopefully we will maybe Palo.
Yeah, Palo would be good.
Yeah, Palo would be a good one.
If you got a spare one,
Yeah.
send it our way.
Pierre, this isn't a Pokemon game.
Yes.
of
We need
firewalls.
everyone.
Please send your palos.
Yes.
He was begging me to call one of our clients and
Because they offered. So I was like, hey, just request it
Beg
again.
this one specific client for their stuff.
yeah.
They
he's-
said they got some
You're
spare
talking
ones.
to the guy who finds like servers and crap in dumpsters.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, dumpster diving goes pretty hard.
good.
Yeah.
Meraki switches, desktops,
We
hard
got a big
drives.
lab. That server room's pretty big. It's got
He drives by Baylor, by the technology department, and every time they pull out the trash, he waits. They go back in. He goes, "All right, what they throw away this time?"
I wish it was that easy.
But that's another thing that I failed to mention. This year, we actually partnered with Baylor for the K-12 Cyber Initiative,
Yeah. The Central Texas Cyber Hub.
the Central Texas Cyber Hub, which we are absolutely happy and thrilled to be one of the participants in that and providing a lot of the upfront money to get that rolling on that. In fact, you and I have a media event on Tuesday.
With one of the
One of the
grant-
award, one of the award winners.
Yeah, I am very excited about that program
Yeah.
because we have worked with education, specifically K through 12, for a very long time from the cybersecurity perspective, and we've helped them in many different ways, not just from cybersecurity, but outreach, talking to kids with Career Day, being involved in just having the teachers say, "Hey, I run a cyber class. Could you guys do like a little short talk?" All kinds of things like that. And this is just another expansion into that realm where it's not directly related to cybersecurity in terms of like actual SOC operations, but giving back to the community, specifically to K-12. And
it hits very close to you and I because we live in a rural area. And we understand what it is to grow up in a rural area without access to the latest and greatest technology.
Yeah, and so just to kind of explain what the Central Texas Cyber Hub's mission is that we are providing curriculum for 9th through 12th grade in cybersecurity. So not only we're providing everything that's cloud-based, and it starts at 9th grade with networking, goes all the way up to 12th grade with cybersecurity, with like a capstone of Security Plus. They'll be able to take Network Plus, and all these different CompTIA certifications by the time they graduate from high school.
Yeah.
And all of that stuff is going to be provided to them through the funds of the Central Texas Cyber Hub and then the school CTE programs. So this is doing the benefit of providing access to things that kids most likely would not have access to.
Right.
I know for a fact that the school that I came from, K through 12, still in 2025 does not have a technology program. Not a cybersecurity program, no technology program whatsoever.
Right.
So being able to provide schools like that access to at least something is really, really important to me. So.
Yeah, and to us as a company, right? Because we you are a professor at MCC in cyber, so when these kids come in, if they've got any training in high school or not, you kind of know that
it's very easily distinguishable.
Like the USB does not go directly to the motherboard.
Yeah, I had a student this year who. I said, all right, go ahead and, we were making Ethernet cords and we were plugging them into a patch panel, getting all that stuff going. And, I see them with my tester and they're trying to yank it out. I'm like, hold up, what are you doing there? Press the button to unplug it. Somehow they got to their freshman year of college and didn't know you were supposed to press that button on the top of the Ethernet to unplug it. Yeah. So, there's some people that come in knowing how to unplug Ethernet. And
or trying to stick RAM into the USB port or whatever it was.
Put it in upside down.
You put it upside down.
It's pretty impressive. Their computer didn't boot. So.
And there's often something with that, and there's often something with that I think goes unconsidered whenever we look at those types of students, right? They're interested in technology to some degree. They enrolled in a platform or into a school, and they wanted to go do it. But what I fear is that often, a lot of times, these kids get to a higher institution of higher education, taking something that they thought they enjoyed, and then they get overwhelmed about it, and then they drop out. And they then wasted all that time and that money going to a school like that to learn that maybe that wasn't for them. So another kind of consideration that I have for this program is that because it's 9th through 12th grade, if a kid gets into the program and decides in his junior year that in fact
it's not for him,
it's not for him
or her,
to me that's still a win. Like I would have loved for him to continue through it, but at least we didn't get him to, a community college or a private university, and they spend $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 and realize, or more in some cases, and then say, no, I don't want to do this.
I think you're right. And I don't know who said this quote. It's in my head, and somebody said, I didn't make this up, but somebody once said that talent is dispersed equally in the world. Opportunity is not. And so if we can bring some opportunity to these rural districts, we may find talent.
That's a good quote.
Well, and one of the things is often whenever people consider technology, I mean, you think of the big, like Austin, you think of California, New York, like the people that do have a lot of resources. When, like you said, that talent could exist anywhere.
Yeah.
And you look at a rural community out here in Texas, you may have like the next, Steve Jobs or something that's
you
sitting in
never
a
know.
rural community, and because they just never have access to
We've got
something.
what Teague here came from rural Texas.
Down the road.
Yeah, just down the road, and I would put him up against some of the better analysts that have 20 years in the business. I mean, that kid is fantastic at what he does. You should see him work CyberShelf and break down PowerShell scripts. It's a thing of beauty, and he's 19. And we've had him for a year and a half now, I think.
Yeah.
So, and it was one of those things like if we didn't hire him, he was going to get in trouble.
And
Go to jail.
it's pretty common in this podcast, but I'm going to poke it at the big bears in the cybersecurity industry. I don't think CrowdStrike would have hired Teague.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
There's so many companies that would have turned him down just based on his so-called lack of experience.
Yeah, that's what we call gatekeeping.
Yeah.
If you don't, but that's a whole nother episode. But also, so in 2026, we're going to expand our firewall ingestion offerings and firewall management offerings as well. But the big thing that there's two big things that I'm looking for in 2026.
More whiskey?
Well, I don't think that's going to.
Three things.
I don't think that's going to be an issue. I will, we can sell some of this stuff. I'm looking for backup and recovery because what I want Scinary to be for our clients is when our clients come to us and say, "Can you just handle this front to back?" I want to be able to say yes. And so having a backup and recovery solution that's affordable, that's effective, they know is going to work, they know the company that's behind it will restore within whatever the SLA is going to be, an hour, 2 hours, 4 hours. We still got a lot of testing to do, but that's at the end of 2026. I want to be that. What?
He said 1 hour, 2 hours SLA.
I'm
me tweaking out over here, man. We're gonna get everything. You guys are ransomed. Everything up in an hour. Don't worry. That's what we say.
Just throw it all out.
Oh man,
we got you.
Then
I'm on a vacation.
Our clients in New York calls us, "Hey, your SLA says restoration in an hour."
It's
been 3 hours to get up there.
Yeah,
It's coming. It's on the way.
Richard, are you buying the private jet?
Yeah, I don't. So.
To be worked on.
To be determined, but by the end of 2026, we're going to add that to our stack along with management, because I do think that Scinary is well positioned to do the cybersecurity, because backup and recovery is part of cyber. If all hell breaks loose and you've got to restore, then you don't want to be messing around with where are my backups, who do I need to call, and all of that. It needs to be one single point of contact on that. And so we're hoping to add that to our stack. Again, my directives are it's got to be affordable, and we have to do it within a reasonable amount of time. We can't have an SLA that says we'll have you back up within 4 days. That's not going to work for us, and it's not going to work for our clients.
And I want to kind of talk about what you've mentioned it, but one of the reasons that we identified that, one, obviously we've polled some of our clients, we've asked them about it, and a lot of them have mentioned that backup and recovery is something they would like us to look at and do. But not only that, it was when we were working incident response, the amount of times we have unfortunately gotten on site, asked about the backups, and I will never forget the one where they thought they had the backups. They thought that they were working. That the person said, "I've been taking these daily. Here they are. We're good." We plugged the thing in, and it was like the last backup they had taken was in the previous year.
Yeah,
they had not ran them, and it was one of those things where backups are only as good if you know that they work and you've tested them, and you don't have them plugged into the same server that got ransomware.
And we've run into that.
Yeah, there's it just time and time again. I could probably count on my hands the number of times we actually got on site and somebody had effective backups.
Yeah.
Most of the time, they weren't tested, so they don't work. They were plugged into the same server that got ransomware, so they're gone. Or they just didn't do backups, so there's just nothing there. Most of the time, unfortunately, it's been kind of a scorched earth thing, and it's like we got to get new equipment because those just don't exist anymore, or we have to reimage everything. So
yeah, and I think there's no doubt in my mind we can get there, because again, we've got a really talented team that if we set our sights on that objective, we will achieve that objective. Again, as long as my objectives are met, and that is we have to make it affordable and we have to make sure that we can deliver in a reasonable amount of time. We're not going to do any case studies on this. We're not going to read what everybody else is doing. We're going to get the technology. We're going to develop our own stuff and see how good we can make it. Because I think a lot of times some of these companies, what they do is like, well, they just go and copy what everybody else is doing. And they don't get back to first principles. They just say, well, it works for them, so it should work for us. Right. And what I want to do is absolutely get down back to first principles. How much is the box? How much is storage? What's the bandwidth transfer? All of that stuff. Do we need to put it in our cloud? Do we need to replicate that to another cloud somewhere?
guys, I think I thought of a perfect backup and recovery procedure. We buy like a bunch of 40 gig thumb drives.
There you go.
And we mail them to everybody.
Put your backups on here.
Yeah.
So the 1 terabyte hard drive.
And there's a return, posted in the
And then we just got them here.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
So yeah, I think between the firewall integrations and the backup and recovery,
We already have the label printer.
no, there you go.
That's half the technology
Yeah,
right there.
There we
Fair
go.
enough.
Yeah.
I was a little quick aside. I was in my shop last weekend, and I've got a new computer in my shop to help 3D prints and all that stuff. And so I needed to transfer a file, so I was digging around my USBs, and I saw one that had a label on it that said confidential. I'm like, oh, that's malware.
Yeah. Plug it in.
That was my first thought. Do not plug it into our computers, Richard, please.
No, this is my personal machine. I did plug it in, and Defender 8, whatever it was.
Dang.
So, good on Defender on that. So, with that, we're running up on an hour, and I do want to thank you guys for the year that has been. Thank you guys for all your hard work. Brazos, thank you for all your hard work and keeping me straight. Hunter, thank you for manning R&D and keeping the CTO kind of pointed somewhat in the same direction.
The only reason he's thanking me is that without me, he would have lost his glasses like 20 times this year.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Wouldn't have a travel partner.
Yeah.
I am also getting back on the road in 2026.
He says
Really?
that every year.
No,
year.
no,
That's
I didn't
funny.
I didn't say it this year. We
Yeah.
knew we were going in a different direction as far as marketing goes. That didn't work, so I got to get back on the road.
I'm remembering, hey guys, I'm pulling back next year.
Yeah, and then we wrote it down on the thing, and then he changed, and then he goes to a trip, then he gets off, and he's like, I'm never traveling again. I hate this. And then 2 weeks later, on the road, guys, I'm getting back to it.
My problem with traveling is the traveling part.
It's an abusive relationship, is what
Yeah.
this sounds like.
The first half's fun. The second half sucks.
No, it's not even that. It's like just the mental and emotional strain. It's like
he likes it
3:30 in the morning.
He likes it up to the point on the first day when we go have a steak dinner, and then after that he's done. He could go home. He could go home.
Yeah.
That's not true. I when I get to the destination, I'm pretty much fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's the travel part in there where I know I've got to hit certain schedules and all of that, and that makes me nervous. And I'm always worried about Uber wherever we go, because we don't go to Chicago or New York. We go to Des Moines. We go to Springfield. We go to Ozark City. We go to these little places that may or may not have Uber or Lyft or anything else available to us. The hotels, we got a shuttle, but it doesn't work.
Well, yeah, we got a donut on the back that I just put on, and
So
yeah, smells like cigarettes.
shout out to all of our partners this year, our new partners and our existing partners. We absolutely appreciate you guys for sure. We appreciate all of our clients. Thank you for everything that you guys do on a daily basis, whether you're in K-12, higher ed, or local government. Your work does matter, and we're happy to serve you. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up. Yeah. Oh boy.
One thing. And obviously, thank you to all the viewers that have stuck around with the crazy shenanigans and the tangents and everything else.
And hold on one second. I'm gonna have to say this, or I'm gonna get skewered. Thank you, operations.
Yeah.
Thank you to the nerds in security operations.
I mean, just from Pierre, I don't think they
don't watch. But this would be the one episode they watch.
Thet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that does.
Watches.
Yeah, thank you, Thet. We appreciate that. Thanks to tech services, that department. They
do good work. They're the best. That's what I've heard.
Thanks to the sales department.
You're not getting a raise.
Thanks to the sales department. So, but seriously, thank you everyone. And I hope that you guys have a great holiday season and a happy new year.
Oh, we keep
Brazos,
carrying on.
You are the king of the one more.
You know, Texas goodbye. Texas goodbye.
Yes.
Okay. I'm a native Texan. All right. But just because we tell all our clients this, so I'll give the nugget of wisdom to anybody that may not necessarily be a client.
Yeah.
If you don't have to use your network over the holiday season,
shut it down.
Just turn the damn thing off.
Yes.
Just unplug it for the weekend. Save on the power, and you probably don't have to worry about a security incident either.
Yeah, unless you're like city or county government or stuff like that, but like K-12, especially if you're in a rural district, man, just shut it down.
Yeah,
Unplug.
Yeah, unplug. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for your time. We will see you guys after the first of the year again. Happy holidays. Happy New Year, and we will see you in January. Bye-bye.
Bye.